welcome back to episode 14 of the Craft Workshop podcast. If you're new here, my name is Dawn. I'm going to give you a very short, hopefully, introduction to myself and the channel and where I am right now. My channel, the Dawn Stage channel, is a mixture of vlogs and podcasts, and I'm originally from Manchester, which is the northwest of the UK or England, and I've been living in Holland, the Netherlands, for almost 20 years now, and I'm an avid crafter, hence the podcast. But before the podcast, I started the channel to vlog our daily life, so that our family and friends in the UK could see what is happening. And my partner Lawrence is South African, so all our family and friends in South Africa can also see what we're up to. And we also have family in Australia, in New Zealand, and we have friends in the States. So yeah, that's pretty much how the channel started. And because I am an avid crafter, I decided to dedicate a podcast just to talk about the crafty things. So the vlog does have a smatter of crafty stuff throughout it, because yeah, that's what's happening in my daily life. But the podcast is where I can just sit for however long I want to, and however long you want to put up with me for, and let me waffle about my crafting. So the location, I'm not in my house at the moment, although I do film a lot from my house, also from my very messy craft room. I'm actually in my workshop, which is based in a local art centre to me. So small disclaimer, you might hear some banging and shouting and just general background noise. You might also hear some planes, because the art centre isn't that far from Schiphol Airport, which is the main Amsterdam airport. I share the building with, I think, 55 or 54 other units, and there's a mixture of artists of all kinds of media or genre. We have oil painters, we have potters, we have a guitar maker, we have yoga, massage, we have an artisan baker, a leather maker. So there's a whole mixed bunch of us here, and I am very fortunate to have a space amongst them all. So as I'm saying this, you can hear there's a plane going now. As of now, I'll just explain to you, if you're watching, if you're looking at, if you're from the future and you're looking back to Dawn from the past, right now we're in our second wave lockdown in the Netherlands. We've just had an announcement this week that as of, I thought it was next week, primary schools will be opening. I have two boys, Josh and William. They're not of primary school age. Josh was at college and William's at high school. High schools will be opening in the coming weeks, although I think William's school, my youngest, he's almost 14. I think his school has signed up to a testing program, so he is able to go for the odd lesson in very small groups of, I thought it was 6 to 8 kids. And then the shops are all still closed. However, the government has said that the shops can start operating now on a collection base only. So the good news is there's a lot of these sort of budget, friendly, cheap shops of who don't have an online presence have now started doing an online presence, and then it's like click and collect. So have yet to discover how that's going to work. If you want to follow me on other social media channels, you can find me again with @DawnStays on my Instagram, and I also host a really nice, very small at the moment, friendly general crafting group on Facebook. That's Crafty World 1. And if you want to see the podcast, that's why you're here now. And then if you want to just a general nosy of what life is like in Holland, albeit a very small life at the moment because of lockdown, then mosey on down to the vlogs. I try to load one vlog every week, typically on a Sunday morning. Don't worry that I'll put links to everything below. So I've got today, first of all, I've got some coffee. I hope you've all got a drink and something nice to snack on, because I'm not sure how long this is going to take. I could zoom right through it, or I could just go on waffle mode and keep you here for over an hour. So I suggest maybe you just pause and go and grab something now, just in case. I'm drinking a plain boring instant coffee in my Dawn Stays mug that is It's not for sale, it's not merch. It's just something that I treated myself to. And it's still warm, always a good sign. So today I can talk about a little bit of crochet, some knitting, a little bit of sewing, and just some plans really. So let's get stuck in with the crochet. So as you can probably gather, I'm a fan of Pika-Pow, and I've sort of lost my crojo at the moment. I've always been able to knit since I was about 7. My lovely Auntie Christine taught me. However, I've never been like a pattern knitter. I never sort of honed that skill or shown an interest in it, frankly. But crochet, I was taught to crochet when I was 9 by a friend's elderly relative, Auntie Nellie. And again, I never sort of picked it up. I think we did a granny square blanket, and so I always knew I could do it. And then I think about over 10 years ago now, my friend Antoinette, her mum got her into crochet, and I was like, you know, I want to learn how to do that again. So Antoinette showed me, picked it up. It was like riding a bike, and that became my obsession. However, in recent, I'd say the last 1 or 2 years, maybe a bit longer, I think if I think about my Instagram posts, probably a bit longer now, but I've sort of had my knitting interest peaked. So yeah, I'm a little bit obsessed with knitting at the moment. However, I've been trying to get my crojo back. So I did start on the pig from the Animal Friends of Pika-Pow, the first book, and I think I've shared this on the podcast a few times, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what it is about that pattern, but I'm just not enjoying it. I've crocheted 3 snouts now. The last one I've actually stitched on, and I still don't like it. And I thought, do you know what? I'm just going to put that to one side. It's still in the sort of frog or not pile. Sorry, there's a plane again. But which order shall I tie this in? Okay, so I was my lovely friend Jeanette from Crafty Creations. She posted on her Instagram that she was going to join a crochet along, and you know, I haven't got any crochet alongs or make alongs going of my own, which I have hosted, and I've actually hosted with Jeanette previously, and it sort of piqued my interest, so I thought I'm going to check out what that is. So Jeanette had signed up to do a crochet along for, I'm going to put my specs on now. It's a crochet along by Coastal Crochet, and it's for the picnic on the beach. So I had a good look. It was all over the blog site, and it gives you all the information. There was even a pack that you could buy with all the yarn. I'd missed the boat, it was sold out. But the pattern is all made from Stylecraft Special DK, and on her blog she lists all the colours and the codes. So I found a Dutch site that did Special DK, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to order that, and I'm doing the summer picnic colourway. I'll try and insert a picture here now of what it looks like. I've not brought the yarn to show you because it's 14 100-gram balls of it, so it's quite a big bag. That's not happening until the 26th of February, and it runs from the 26th of February and it finishes on the 16th of April. So I thought, okay, I don't think I can just throw myself into doing a blanket, because it's also, we're going to learn new techniques, or at least new to me. So I thought, what can I do? So I think it was my friend Alize on Instagram posted that she was going to join a crochet along account for the Animal Friends of Pika-Pow. And then coincidentally, another friend of mine, Lisa from Lisa Pine Notes, Lisa's actually got a YouTube channel as well, some lovely tutorials. She was joining in, so I thought, you know what, let's just have a bash at this. So I have got the Animal Friends of Pika-Pow 2 book, and I thought, there's still plenty of these animals that I want to make and would actually make again and again. Sorry, not waffled properly for a while, but I thought, no, I had this book for, I think it was for my birthday. I think my mum got it for my birthday in October. So I thought, let me have a look through. So I'll show you like it's not the centre spread, but I'll show you like the options of the patterns. I did quite fancy doing the lobster, but as Jeanette pointed out to me, there's a lot of little parts. And considering I'm trying to get my Crojo back, I didn't think that was a good idea. So I'll put it over to this side. And then I quite like the little goat, but I've decided I'm making the fox. So I'll show you, I have marked, I did mark it, yeah, I have. So this is what he looks like. How cute. I'm not sure about the dicky bow, but I'll leave that to the very end. So I'll show you how far I've got on that, and I must admit, it's done the trick. I'm enjoying crochet again. So I've not got really far, but I've done his head. I didn't have the bigger eyes in my stash, and I thought, you know what, I'll just use the little ones. I might even put some eyelashes on him or eyebrows or something. I'm not keen on the cheeks, the little rosy cheeks. A lot of her animals, the Peek Pout animals, they do have these little rosy circle cheeks, and I don't know if I'll put that on Foxy, but anyway, I'll see. But I'm going great guns on that. I'm really enjoyed it, doing it. So that's what I've got on the needle at the moment. I'm doing mine on a 3mm hook. I'm just going to double check that for you, actually. I could be telling fibs. Yeah, I am. I'm doing mine on a 3mm hook, and I'm trying to use stash. So, oops, somebody's singing. So this is like a very dark charcoal grey from my stash. I had a little tiny scrappy piece of it left, a ball of it left, and I thought there's just enough to do the snout, the ear tips, and I thought maybe the paws. I thought so I haven't got the colourway for that, I'm sorry. And then this is also from my stash. It's like, I'm not sure if it's showing up a bit orange on camera. It's like a very dark rusty burnt orange or red. It's very like red fox colour. So this and this from the Schapiers, that's the correct way to pronounce it, Schapiers Katona. Schapiers is one of my favourite cottons to work with, and it's actually a Dutch brand, so it's quite readily available here. However, I didn't fancy doing it all in the Schapiers Katona, so I had in my stash, I had the stone wash. So his face is the stone wash. You can see the difference. It's got like a little bit of a halo on it. The stone wash is actually it's 78% cotton and 22% acrylic. You can see that. It's quite nice to work with, and it's mixing very well with the 100% cotton, and that's the colourway if you fancy having a look. And I'm trying to sort of stash bust this year, so that's why I thought I'm gonna join the crochet along, and you know, and use only what I've got from a stash. I'm not going to buy anything else. So if you want to join in with that, that's actually the crochet along is it's a lovely lady in Germany called Angela, and the hashtag is 28 days of Peek Pout. But don't worry, I'll put a link to everything below if you want to join in with that, and it's for the whole of February. Yeah, 28 days of Peek Pout. Of course, it's 28 days in February this month. It's quite early in the morning, bear with me. Still warm. I think that's all I've got to tell you about for crochet, really. Well, I'll talk about that at the end. We can move on to the knitting. Thought I'd give you an update of how I'm getting on with my sweater. I've mentioned this a few times, so sorry if I'm boring or repeating myself to many of you, but my crafty goal this year was to learn to knit a garment for myself, and then I sort of fell down the colourwork rabbit hole. So I found this amazing pattern. I'm going to show you. It's a free pattern as well, can you believe it? It's got it's just two colours, colourwork around the yoke, top down, and it's the J sweater. You can see here, and that's by Rachel Brockman. Again, if you want to have a go at this, it's a free Ravelry pattern, so I'll put the link below. So I'll show you where I got up to on that. Let's see. Yeah, here we are, I don't want it to drop off the needles. So I've done with the colour work, ta-da! So this is the neck, and I think it's nice because I don't like a really high neck. If you can see on the pattern, it's sort of, I think it sits actually a little bit lower than this sweater. So I thought that would be nice. And I'm just, again, stash busting. This is just very inexpensive acrylic. If you're watching from the Netherlands, it's from the Zeeman, which is one at like a budget shop, a bit like dollar store, but it's not, everything's not $1 or €1, and it's their royal acrylic. And the reason I thought I could have a go is in the project section on the Ravelry page. You know, I always look at that and I see like how many skeins people are using and the type of wool they've used, and you know, I research things before I make them. Unless it's crochet, I just throw myself right into that, but the knitting I'm a bit more careful or meticulous. And somebody in Holland had posted a picture of them wearing this made from this royal acrylic, and I've got loads of it in my stash. So I thought, excellent, it's a free pattern, I'm going to use stuff I've already got. Never tried colourwork before, ever. Never done a garment before, so I just threw myself right on in there. So I don't know how well you can see it. I'm trying not to, try and spread it out a little bit. You see, I'm so pleased with it. I mean, it's probably this, you know, there's probably, if you're an expert knitter, you probably spotted loads of mistakes off it already. I think the traditional thing is to show floats, isn't it? I've not got needle stoppers. I'm trying to do this very carefully, but I can show you my floats. Not done too bad on the floats, I think. I don't know. What are your thoughts? According to the pattern, I think from the top of the neck until you split for the sleeves, I think my size was, oh, I can tell you've got the pattern right here. I don't know why I'm trying to guess this. My size should be, where is it? 9.5 inches. And I think I measured it the other day, and since then I did 2 rows. It's taken a while to do rows now, there's quite a few hundred stitches on there. I think I'm like 1 inch off before a split for the sleeve, so that's really exciting. So that's why I thought, well, I'll finish the colour work now, I'll bring it to the workshop and show everybody. Super happy with that. Now at the moment, so the yoke, I did that in, I thought it was a 4.5mm, and now I'm down to the 4mm. I'm using the Knit Pro Zing interchangeable, and yeah, I mean, it's acrylic, so yeah, I mean, I don't really have to block acrylic, but I'm just, because it's all sort of bunched up, I'm actually wondering how it's going to lie sort of here when it's on. I'm hoping that because it's the raglan, that the sort of sleeves will stretch it out. Anyway, we'll see. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. So I'm quite pleased with that. Really happy with how that's turning out. Socks. Oh, in the last podcast I shared that I finished 2 pairs of socks. Not on such of a roll at the moment with that. However, I'm probably not far off. Sorry guys, not that far off the toe on. This is the first sock in a pair. So this is it's a self-patterning yarn. This is from it's Regia, and it's from the design line Arne and KALS, and this shade is Summer Nights. I bought this, actually bought another self-patterning, the one I've shown you in the last podcast. That was, I think it was the Lana Grossa Christmas sock pattern, sorry, self-patterning yarn. And at the same time I bought this, and then I bought another one in like pinky red tones, which is called Garden, I thought. Yeah, this is Summer Night and the pink one's Garden. So not decided if I'm going to do a contrasting toe, but I thought it's such a nice pattern. It's got that sort of Scandi feel about it. I thought I'm just going to do a plain old vanilla sock and actually let the yarn speak for itself. Really enjoyed that. It's very nice yarn to work with. But then no, I got, you know, a little bit sort of, I don't know, I like to have a few things on the go, because you know, suddenly doing that in the round, like, oh, that's our resident workshop dog, Myrta. She's lovely, but she's bonkers. If you can hear barking, maybe you can't hear it. Yeah, you know, with the sweater and the, you know, it's taken a long time, you know, just to do a couple of rows on this. You know, it's a good, I don't know, 20-minute, half hour. I'm not the quickest of knitters. And then after I've done a few rows, I have to put it down. So I like to have a lot of sort of, I'm not one of these, I'm not like a serial finisher. I'm a serial whip kind of gal. I'm sure many of you are, I like that too. So that being said, I thought, do you know what? I've had this pattern in my stash for ages. I'm gonna cast it on. I forgot to bring the pattern with me, which is really, really stupid. So I'm not sure if I've done enough to even see the pattern, but I've decided I've cast on Stitch Create Love Lindsay's Flight of the Bumblebee pattern, and then this this whole sort of pattern, when it works up, there's a little, if you can see, there's a little bit of lace, like eyelets in there, lace work. And then I don't know if this is the best yarn to show it off yet. I think when it's all made up, then you'll really be able to see it. So I've done a contrasting cuff. This is in Lambie's sock yarn. I'm not sure of the colour. I'm very sorry, because you'll know after a while that I always lose the ball bands. I'm useless, but I'll try and put links wherever I can. But this, I'm very proud of this. This is, and you can see I was that excited to start, I've not even pulled it. Well, this is my own dyed yarn. I did this in the summer. Oh, it's got a bit of sock yarn on it. This is, try and pull it out. What am I know I'm going to end up all tangled, but I just got so excited. Maybe today I'll ball this up. I made this in the summer, and it's a lot of, I don't know if you can see, it's like a lot of speckling running through it. It's a little, you know, like rainbow colours. It's got peaches, it's got orange, it's got blues, greens. I've been itching to use this, but it was a one-off skein. I was experimenting, and I thought, you know what, that's going to make lovely, lovely sock yarn, because there's enough white in it, and the speckling, and there's a little bit of pooling in the colour. So yeah, I thought, you know what, I've had this in my stash since Lindsay released the pattern. So I thought, let me just start that. And do you know what, I think I might be a sock pattern convert, because I'm enjoying that, the breaking up the monotony of the, you know, knitting in the round. So I'm really enjoying that. What else? I've done Lindsay's sock. I've got very, very small finished object, and actually smaller than it was intended to be, but I'll explain. So Jeanette, yet again, has enabled me to join in something. I like to think that it's a mutual relationship, because I love to enable Jeanette with lots of things too, as we all do. Actually, most of the people in my Instagram enable me to buy or try things. But I thought, oh, I fancy doing this, and it's free. It's a knit along, and it's by a lady, I don't know if I'm pronouncing her name correctly. I think it's either Garlane or in Dutch I would say Garlane, but in English I'd probably say Garlene. And she's from the Kitchen Sink shop, and she's doing a year of dishcloths. And if you sign up to her newsletter, at the beginning of every month you get a new pattern for a dishcloth. So this was the first one, which is tiny. And this is it's called Icicles. And the reason it's so tiny, so the pattern calls for 3.25mm needles, which I didn't have in my stash. I did have a 3.5 in really cheap Aldi ones that I picked up just to try, and I must admit I did not enjoy using them. They you know, I can show you off the sock needle. You know, they kept catching here. Oh, incidentally, going back to the socks, I always knit my socks in a 2.5mm, and I like the Magic Loop and the Knit Pro Zings. Again, these are not the interchangeable, but they're actually, you can see They're my favourite sock needle. So anyway, I thought, you know what, I've got a 3.5. I'll just cast it on, see how it turns out. But I did it in stash busting. I did it in this really, really thin cotton. I don't have it in my bag anymore. I think I've actually put it back in my stash. I've had it for years from one of these budget shops, and it's so splitty. I tried to crochet with it and it was awful. And I thought, okay, icicle blues, you know, cool colours. I'll just try and knit with it. And it wasn't too bad to knit with, really. It was less splitty than the crochet. But I was thinking, I've got a precise needle, so it might be a bit bigger. But actually, because I'd used really thin cotton, it actually was a lot smaller than the dishcloth it's supposed to be. So you know what I've done? Well, if you've seen my Instagram, you'll know what I've done. But I've used it as a blanket in my dollhouse, and I must admit, it looks lovely. I did have a knitted blanket on the 4-poster bed before. I'll try and put a picture here of the bedroom. And I bought, when I first got my dollhouse, I bought this box of old stuff off the internet. I think it was an elderly lady was just getting rid of the contents of her dollhouse, and in it, most of it was actually rubbish, if I'm frank with you. But there was a couple of really good pieces that actually were worth, you know, I mean, let's just say I broke even on what I paid for the box. But there was a couple of handmade things in there, obviously. And there was a knitted blanket in there, a white one. But it was, I think it's acrylic, it was really stiff. So I had that on the bed, and this actually looks much nicer. So anyway, this was January, the icicle dishcloth. And then we've had the February pattern in. I haven't brought a picture of it, I'm afraid. But if you're interested in knitting, you can sign up to the to her blog, and it's called Amour, and I'll try and put a picture in here, and it's like love heart design, so a bit of lace work involved. I've literally just cast it on, but I can tell you, I've not done it in the Scapers actually. Stash busting again. I found this cotton. So this is thicker than this cheap blue one, and this is actually Alize Bella. I use a lot of Alize yarn. These little baby cardigans are made from Alize Cotton Gold, I thought, which is like an acrylic cotton blend. So this is it's 100% cotton. And I've had it for years and years and years in my stash. So I don't know if you can still get it. It's lovely. It's like a real hot pink. If you want to check it out, there's the colour. You can go online and have a look. I know 100% I would have bought this off the local wool guy who has a stall on my Friday market. So yeah. Maybe they don't even make it anymore. But anyway, it's a lovely hot pink. So I thought, what more? I don't want a red dishcloth, so pink's nice. I think that's everything I'm doing on the knitting front. Yeah, that's all I've got on the go with knitting. It's starting to go cold now. Okay. I am a little bit of a craft addict, and I see things and I tell myself, Dawn, don't go near it. It's not for you, because I know I'll end up with yet another craft on the go. So I crochet and knit. So I have a dollhouse. I just before Christmas I treated myself to a spinning wheel. So I'm spinning, yarn dyeing. I've got a candle making kit at home that I got for Christmas. I'm really into my essential oils, so I'm always, you know, mixing potions and playing with that, you know, lots of things. And I paint furniture. In fact, most of the things in the workshop are hand painted by me. So I've seen this, it kept coming up on my Instagram feed and in different YouTube videos, and I've like, oh, I can't do it. And anyway, I fell down the rabbit hole. Thought, you know, I can't resist anymore. So I started English paper piecing, which is EPP. And it's basically these little hexagons are the English paper piecing. So it's like patchwork, basically. But what you do, you have these little paper pieces these are hexagons, and then you baste the fabric around the piece of paper, and then you hand stitch all the little shapes together. So I fell down the EPP rabbit hole. This is a very, very beautifully written pattern, free, by Emma Jones, who's the Vintage Sewing Box. And it's actually, I can open it, it's a needle book. So I've put this polka dot felt inside it, and then you can just put your needle. You can have as many as you want. It's a book, so I could actually overstitch and put another one if I wanted, and I could even put like a little toggle or a popper or something on it. But I really, really enjoyed making this, and it's all from scraps of fabric. And it was one of these, once I'd cut everything out, all the hand stitching, except I ran that through the sewing machine, it's all hand stitched, all of it. And I sat on the sofa in the evening with my reading lamp on me, and it's just tiny little stitches, but my gosh, I really, really enjoyed it. So if you've ever fancied having a go at English paper piecing, I recommend it. A lot of people, they actually have like a glue pen, so they glue the paper on the back side. So they would if you took the fabric over, and then they would glue this and then stick it down. The traditional way is that you would use a basting stitch, you know, and just pin it all down, press it. I haven't got the special glue. I use decoupage glue. See a close up of my dodgy stitching. It worked fine. Some of them have left, this one I've took the paper out of. Some of them I left the paper in. You can't tell the difference. So yeah, I really enjoyed that. I think that's all I've got in terms of what I've been working on. Yes. In the last podcast, I'll tell you about some plans. So in the last podcast, I told you about my plans to start doing the hand dyeing to sell, which is still very much on the cards. All last year I played around with hand dyeing, and I've really, really enjoyed the process. It's such good fun. So I've bought a hot plate because you need heat to set the dye into the yarn. So I wanted to set up a little dye station here. I spoke about this in the last podcast. However, the shops are still closed, and so I have got dye, obviously. I use acid dye, not natural dyes. And I needed, for the colourways that I'm planning in my head, I've written them down in my bullet journal, which I've not brought to share you today because I've not done much in it. I needed some more colours because I've only got a basic set, and I can pretty much, I've got all the primary colours, so I can pretty much mix what colour I would like. However, if I do a colourway that I really like and I would want to reproduce it, then I don't want to leave it to chance of mixing shades and they're not quite right. So anyway, the long-winded story is the dyes I ordered, I didn't realise, stupidly, I didn't check that the supplier is in America. Now, this week, I laughed, I joked about it with the Zoom ladies last night. I'm in a nitty Zoom meeting every Thursday evening. The Zoom ladies meet throughout the week, but I can only make Thursday evenings because I work. But I received a Christmas card yesterday. So the post here is still moving very, very, very slowly. So I have no idea when this dye arrives. I suppose I could order some new dye from Europe and hope that, you know, one of them will get here quicker. I'm not putting pressure on myself. I've actually got a big box of, this is merino and acrylic mix. Beautiful yarn. I've got a big box of this, all sat waiting to be dyed. I've written up some colourways that I have in mind, and you know, I'm going to hold on and wait for the dyes. And then the other thing is, our shops are still closed, but we've got this click and collect service that's slowly over the next few days will come into play. I need some like dye pots, you know, dedicated just to the yarn dyeing that I can leave here at the workshop. And I did want to go to like the thrift store in Holland. They're called kringloops, or charity shops in the UK, and I wanted to buy a piece of furniture that I could use to put the hot plate and the dyeing station on. And then it was like a win-win situation, because I would buy a nice piece and then paint it. So yeah, those plans are, you know, I'm itching to get started, but I'm being very patient. I could dye at home, I could dye with the yarn dye I've already got, but I want to do it properly and, you know, plan it out. So anyway, I'm a bit stuck with that, but I'm still really excited to start it. As and when that begins, I'm going to share it with you anyway. The other thing, oh yeah, so getting back to this and the dollhouse, I actually thought, I think the next English paper piecing thing I want to try will be a little patchwork quilt for the doll's house, but smaller hexagons than this. So I think for that I do need to invest in the proper glue, because that's going to be, this was really fiddly. I mean, as tiny as they are, and I think if I want to do them even smaller, my doll's house, if you know anything about doll's house, they have different scales, and mine is a 1/12 scale. So that's also what I want to do for the English paper piecing. This year, definitely want to start more sewing. You can't see, but I've got a sewing machine here that I leave at the workshop. And in my craft room at home, I've got another sewing machine, and I've got an overlocker. And the last few years, I've hardly done anything in terms of like dressmaking for myself, which I love to do. However, I have been making, haven't got any on me, like I make these, you know, project bags. There's dog hair on that. And then I think, you know, I've got a stack of them that, you know, if you have an open day or passing trade, which we don't at the moment, of, you know, zipper pouches and drawstring project bags that I've made them all through the year. And I do sometimes put them in my Etsy shop, but I'm very, very bad at updating my Etsy shop. I think there's earrings in there at the moment. I absolutely love, that's another thing I do. I make jewellery. Love to make jewellery. I've made that for years, and I think I've got silver earrings in there at the moment, real silver ones, because I have a metal allergy. So yeah, I'm very, you know, I don't want to make like base metal jewellery, because I know I can't wear that myself, so I've tried to always do silver. The beadwork's always, you know, another medium, you know, glass, base metal, sometimes copper, but the posts I always try to use real silver. Anyway, I'm starting to waffle now. But yeah, I want to really start with my sewing again. If you've been around, you'll know that last summer I cut out some beautiful fabric, like a rayon, in like these teals, blue florals, prints, a wrap dress, and I've got all the pieces sat at the craft room at home. I've never stitched them together. I don't even know why. It's not like I'm missing something or I needed something. So yeah, I think you know, that's going to be one of the plans. I'll probably try and sew that together and then just start on that again. I did actually buy the Tilly and the Buttons stretch pattern book, and I made I think I made the Frankie t-shirt, which is a bit like yeah, like a crew neck. I did a 3/4 length t-shirt, again in scrap fabric. Absolutely loved it. Wasn't happy with the neckline, so I want to have a go at doing that again. Actually, I think my Frankie pattern's in my cupboard behind me. So yeah, I want to do the sewing plans. The other thing I really fancy doing is I want to do some more, I want to really get into colour work with the knitting, and I can share with you some podcasts that I've watched that have shared their colour work pieces that have really inspired me, you know, and I've seen it's like, oh, they're gorgeous, I'd love to try them. And the ones I'm going to share you, most of them are quite simple, or there's one. Anyway, so There's going to be links everywhere. So the first one, I've just recently watched Ellie from Craft House Magic. I'm sure many of you follow Ellie, and I think even some of you have come from Ellie's channel over to me, because I know she's shouted me out occasionally over the past few years. Anyway, Ellie's currently working on a pattern called Mayfield Mitts by Erica Mount, and they're just 2 colours, and they're beautiful. They're very sort of yeah, you know, like a bit sort of magical looking, natural, foresty, you know, like old Celtic-y. I don't know if I'm describing that properly, but Ellie's done hers, I think, in like a mauve colour. They're stunning, and that really caught my eye. So these are all things, I just make notes of everything. And then also what you can do with Ravelry, if you didn't know, you can favourite things. So every time I see a pattern, I just stick it in my favourites, and then, you know, every couple of months I'll go back and think, oh no, actually I don't think I want to do that anymore, or yeah, I'm going to buy that pattern. So it's a nice exercise. Angela, lovely Angela from Knitting on the Farm, she's got on her needles for quite a while now, but anyway, it's like, you know, these things, they're like, they take a while. I think Angela's also like me with, she's doing the Fern and Feather sweater, which again is beautiful. She's doing it in 2 shades of green, and I think she's like me now. I think she's more or less done with the colour work, and then it's that sort of, you know, round and round and round. That's actually by a pattern designer called Jennifer Stein Gas. So I quite fancy that. I'm inspired by that. And then keeping on the sweaters, Christine from Sweet Lavender Knits. Now, if you want to see exactly this sweater, this was in episode 45. She finished it's called Winterfell sweater by Skein Net Knits, and again, beautiful. I think it's a raglan, and it's very sort of Scandi looking. And Christine actually shows on that episode the finished sweater, gorgeous. So I'm going to make a note of that. Oh yeah, and also on sticking with the mittens, Alize, my lovely Alize from Les Petits Saint Crochet, she's also done mittens as well. They're called Lucky Sunflower Mitts. I forgot to take a note of who the designer was of that, but anyway, I'll put links in everywhere. Oh, they're beautiful. They're the sort of I think they were like fingerless mittens or fingerless gloves. That you could wear, you know, just going into spring when the days are a little bit cool, and because they've got the sunflowers on them, they're really cheerful looking. Oh, and I haven't done a knitted hat. I'm not going to do this because I think it's just way too ambitious for me yet, but I'm going to stick it on the list. Jess from 2 Sticks and String. So Jess used to podcast, and then she had I think a year break, and she's just started podcasting again. And I know Jess, and she's an amazing knitter. She shared a hat. It's called the Alaska hat, which is by a designer called Camille Descotto. I can't know if I'm pronouncing that right. It's beautiful, and again, I've been onto Ravelry and I've seen in the projects different pictures of it made, and it's like silhouettes of like fern trees. So the backdrop is the colour, and then Jess has done her trees in like black. I thought, beautiful, but my gosh, I think a lot of work. And I think Jess actually said when you start it, because it's so much work, the colour work, the pattern is so intricate, that she said it looks a mess, and she just pushed on, and then almost to the end, when you look, it's like, oh yeah, they're trees, I can see them. So not that I'll be doing that for a while, but anyway, if you really fancy some colourwork inspiration, that's why I'm telling you about these now. And then oh yeah, and then also I would love to make this. I don't know if I'm going to get round to it just yet, but I'm definitely, it's, you know, it's something to think about. So Anita from Gaga Knits, she's currently knitting a blanket, and I think she bought the pattern. There's a whole history about the pattern, and she bought it from, I think it was like an exhibition that she'd been to, and so the pattern is called I don't know if I can read my writing now. The barrel. Oh, do you know what? I can't even read my writing. Barrel. Barrel something counterpane. Oh my gosh, that's terrible. My writing's atrocious. Barrel something counterpane. I'll be linked somewhere. Oh, sorry guys. But the pattern, it's an historical pattern, and it's by the Quaker. The pattern was printed by the Quaker Tapestry Exhibition Centre. It's beautiful. She's doing it. I think it's in an Aran, like a cream Aran. My God, I mean, it's going to be so heavy and warm when it's done, but every time she shows it on her podcast or on her Instagram, I'm like, oh, that, you know, and you're just like, oh, you know, that blanket's stunning. So yeah, go and check that out. And I think that's it really. I can tell you a couple of incoming. So because I've really upped my knitting game, I think my coffee's cold now, guys. Yes, it is. Yeah, because I've really upped my knitting game, I discovered that you know, the range of sizes of needles I had was really limited. So I have ordered a lot of new needles, and that all of them have been with these Knit Pro Zings. I love the interchangeable ones because you can buy the stoppers individually, you can buy, as you know, the cables in different lengths, and yeah, you get like a little tool and you just put it in and then unscrew it. And I know some people have complained that as you're knitting they can become unscrewed. I've never had that problem, if I'm honest. I don't know if maybe over tightening them and they might break in time, but sorry, that was my heater came on. But yeah, so I've ordered I think in the last week I've had 4 new sets of needles, and they're not cheap. I think they're something like €8 a set. So, but anyway, you have them forever, don't you? And then the other thing, this isn't really recent, as in I did it last night. When I was in the Zoom meeting with the ladies, I don't even know how we got on the subject. We talk about everything under the sun. But for some reason we started talking about magazines, probably knitting magazines. But Nikki, one of my lovely friends who I talked to on Zoom, but actually Nikki's probably watching the podcast. Hi Nikki. Nikki recommended something that she subscribed to, and for me it's perfect. Being in Holland, I find it really difficult to get English magazines, particularly crafting magazines. So when I go to the UK, which I'm not able to at the moment because of the COVID situation, I end up coming back with bags of magazines. I hit Tesco and I'm like a woman possessed, you know. Cookery ones, knitting ones, crochet, sewing, I just go nuts, and it costs me a fortune. And do you know what? Half of them I flick through and I never go back to them. I do keep a lot of my magazines, and I do regularly do this exercise of going through, but to be honest with you, if I make things out of them, I don't think I do. Oh, it's raining. Oh, it's raining quite hard. I'm actually you can see the eaves, I'm in the roof of the building. Anyway, so Nikki recommended this online magazine service. I'd never heard of it before. Maybe some of you subscribe to it, and you get 1 month is free, so it's a free trial, and then after that in euros it's £9.99 a month in euro. And I thought, you know what, I'm not going out, I don't smoke, I'm not really a massive drinker, you know, I'm not one for, you know, buying, you know, a new wardrobe every month. And I thought €10 a month, that would, and to get, you know, access to all these magazines, I'm doing it. So I signed up last night to the free trial. My gosh, I sat on the sofa. This service, so it's called I think, no, it's called Readly, R-E-D, Read, L-Y, Readly, and I'll put a link below, obviously. I signed up for it. I sat on the sofa. The range of magazines that this service has got is amazing. There's dollhouse magazines, there's crochet, knitting, like BBC Good Food. I looked for Lawrence. There's like, he plays hockey, he likes to surf. I looked for the boys. There's puzzle books. There's like gossip magazines. You know, what an amazing service, and especially for me being like an expat that I can't get hold of these magazines. So I'm really thrilled with that. That was a little treat to myself. We've had a couple of things where we've treated ourselves as a family, and it's been like a real worthwhile investment. One of the things Lawrence did it a few years ago now, he got a family Spotify account for us all. The four of us use our Spotify daily. Absolutely love Spotify. That's like a music streaming service. And then the other thing, we have English Sky satellite, which we've recently cancelled because it's so expensive to have that over here. I think every year we have to pay like a 200 and something renewal fee. The Brits don't have to pay that, so I don't know why we have to do it, but anyway. And he signed us up to Netflix. We watch Netflix daily, so I'm becoming more and more open to like these online streaming services. This magazine one, I'm going to get a lot of use out of that. So that's about the only incoming really, the new needles and treat myself to the magazines. What I am going to do, I do this a lot, so I'm going to make it a regular feature, is I'm going to list all podcasts that I'm watching right now below. So if you scroll down to the description box, it'll be all my contact information, my email, my Instagram and the Facebook group, and then I'll have all the links to everything I spoke about in the podcast, and if they're not links, at least a description of what I was talking about. And then below that I'm going to list podcasts I'm watching now, because I really like to share the love. I've mentioned quite a few of them now in this podcast, but there's way more that I can tell you about. So just make sure that when you finish, if you're looking for something different or new to watch, or maybe you actually want to see what we've got in common, go and check that list. Anyway guys, this rain is throwing down now, so I'm gonna wrap up the podcast, and I've waffled quite enough, and I'm gonna say thanks if you've made it to the end. Well done. Thanks for sticking with me. I really hope you've enjoyed tuning in to today's podcast. I really appreciate it. If you are a new subscriber, thank you so much for taking the time to come and join me. I'd love to know how you found my channel, if it was somebody recommended, or it popped up on your recommendation feed, or I'd love to hear how you found the channel, and also where you're from. I'm quite good friends with a lot of our viewers. I like to look at it that we're a lovely crafting community, and I know where quite a few of you guys are from, so when somebody new joins us, it's really interesting to hear where you're hailing from. And tell me what you like to watch in a podcast, what you don't like to watch. That's also fine, but we try and keep it positive. We don't want negativity here. Even sometimes an innocent remark can cause a war, as I've just discovered in a dollhouse Facebook group that I follow. It kicked off roiling there, and I still don't know why. I'm very confused. Anyway, I'm going to say goodbye. Stay safe, and I hope you're all well wherever you are, and I'll see you in the next vlog. Bye.